Uh,
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Today we are bringing you another edition of Week in Geek live on YouTube. And my co-hosts today are David and Jeremy. Almost left me hanging there. Don't forget to check out some of our other episodes if you were just joining us on YouTube now. We did our Welcome to Derry Season 1 coverage. Just recently, last weekend, we did a recast of all three trilogies of Star Wars characters. We do have a novice nerd. It's kind of been a while, but we're bringing it back with a little X-23. She should be popping back up here pretty soon in the Avengers movies, we hope, or in the X-Men movies to follow. And also, Fallout Season 2 came out today, so stay tuned for our coverage of that. We'll probably wait till after Stranger Things, but we're excited to get back into our video game show coverage. And don't forget to check us out on social media at Why So Sidious Pod on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube, and leave a 5-star review for us on Apple and Spotify. If you like the show, of course. Let's get into the news. First, we have our next Steven Spielberg movie coming out, Disclosure Day. So he's going back into the alien universe. This feels like a very modern, realistic alien movie where it's a lot about like the government or people who know are trying to keep the secrets, and other people who know want them to tell the truth and let the population of the world know that the aliens are out there. So, JD, did this trailer get you excited?
Trailer was great, yeah, and the movie idea itself looks awesome. So it's like not your typical alien invasion. It's more on the spectrum of towards like Arrival, great little sci-fi movie where there's more. It's just based on communication and figuring each other out.
The human side.
It's funny that there's also this like brand new documentary that just came out called Age of Disclosure, and this feels oddly similar to that. Like it's almost seems like excuse me, a ploy to kind of wash out the other Age of Disclosure, which is supposed to be pretty kind of controversial because they're saying like, yeah, this documentary is you're going to watch this and there's going to be no more questioning whether or not aliens exist and whether or not the government knows they exist and always knew. So that seems controversial. And then within the same year, we're hearing about Disclosure Day, and the title itself is so close to it. But so that's kind of weird, but it does look great, man. I love the realistic take on like what happens if aliens really showed up here, like, and it's not some MCU invasion. It's like what would really happen.
Yeah, it's weird that I think I sent this to Lub earlier today, but this is like the fourth thing this year as far as disclosure goes with alien presence and all this stuff, whether movie, documentary, government announcement, word of government announcements coming up are all dropping this year. So my first conspiratorial brain went to they're prepping for some big announcement to be dropped coming up here. But aside from conspiratorial stuff like that, the trailer was dope. I'm watching it for sure. It looks sick. Spielberg is great at these types of movies. I am still expecting there to be a smidgen of truth in all of this. So I'm very curious to see. They were already the communication is like sine waves that the aliens are speaking through in the trailers, and people are already breaking down like the science of sine wave communication. Very interesting, very deep subject to go into there, but there's a lot to dig into that. It's mind-bending stuff. So all because of that, I think this is going to be one of those movies that kind of shakes the pop culture. I could see this being a big one. So I'm looking forward to it, and anything Emily Blunt, I'm there for too. So that doesn't hurt.
Will it make the box office draft?
Hell yeah. Spielberg, aliens. Absolutely. Right? And we got 4 people drafted now, of course.
Yeah, it'd be a little 3rd, 4th round pick sleeper.
Oh yeah. This is a solid half a bill, probably.
Right.
We got Emily Blunt, Colin Worth, Wyatt Russell. Who else we got on this call? Nope, I just said that. Coleman Domingo. It's a good cast. It's a good director. It's a good plot. Yeah.
Well, it comes out June 12th. So stay tuned for that. Let's move on to House of the Dragon first look. It was a pretty short one, but obviously we're waiting for this after the disappointing season 2. Hopefully get that Battle of the Gullet to kick off season 3. And Rhaenyra with the crown. So Dave, this comes out late 2026. I know we got Night of the Seven Kingdoms first, but are you ready?
So ready. I haven't even seen any of these promo photos. I haven't watched anything, looked into any of it. I haven't even really thought of House of the Dragon, but those 2 photos right there got me hyped. Damon blood soaked leading a battalion, Rhaenyra looking at a beautiful crown. I'm already feeling ready to go back to Westeros.
Same. The season 3, I think, is going to be a banger. Even if season 2 was a little slow, we all didn't love it so much, but really looking forward to getting back with these characters.
Right. Well, of course, we'll be covering that later this next year. I can't believe this year is already over. But let's move on to Marvel. We're busting through these today. Spoiler alert, first of all. I mean, the picture's already up there, but if you don't want to hear anything more about this, maybe skip ahead about 2 minutes and you will be saved of these spoilers, because there was a leaked trailer out that the first one I saw was someone recording on their cell phone in a theater. So it seemed like they were watching maybe Sinners or whatever IMAX movie it was out already.
Apparently it's like the employees
Sinners.
there, like, so they'll have copies and they'll play it like behind the scenes, and that's who could take a photo, something like that, because it hasn't been shown publicly anywhere, really.
Well, they're saying
came out like 6 months ago, didn't it?
Well, they were saying that they were going to do the Odyssey prologue on the Sinners and One Battle After Another IMAX re-release or something. So maybe this was part of that too. But no, this might have been something else. It might have been an employee like JD said, but it shows Steve Rogers. He arrives at his home, the same one seen at the end of Avengers Endgame. He steps off his motorcycle, places his helmet on the bike, walks towards the house. It shows him looking at his Endgame suit almost as if he's considering suiting up one more time. It shows him holding a baby, his baby, most likely, and smiling. Baby. And then the screen fades to black, saying Steve Rogers will appear or return in Avengers Doomsday. So when it goes for trailers, I'm not a big fan of this. It seemed kind of, are we just going pure nostalgia? I'm kind of worried about Doomsday, honestly. I'm worried about it. JD?
Yeah, I also have this concern because we are kind of really just relying on they're like Hail Marys, right? We're bringing back the big dogs. But at the same time, it's the Russo brothers who are just not going to miss in Marvel. Haven't missed yet, I should say. Another thing overall, no, I don't love this. It just feels like an evolution of like the chair watch, just saying like this character is going to be in there. This character is going to be in there. And I'm worried now that the 4 trailers are just variations of this with different characters.
That's a Thor one too, I guess.
Yeah. Is that leaked also? I heard. Yeah. So again, that probably is going to be Captain America and Thor, which like is already obviously going to be there. So at least this one like confirms that Captain America is in there, and it is like the 616 Steve Rogers that we left off with. Like that is exciting. And the way that the Russo brothers did Winter Soldier, Civil War, the way that their 4 movies kind of were like sequels of each other, they were kind of in linear order, or at least played on each other very well. Like I feel like this is the next one. It's their 5th. It's their sequel to Endgame now, just because we're getting back with this Captain America that we left off in Endgame and all that stuff. So as for trailers, like you need to get us way more excited than that. But I'm happy to have our Steve Rogers back. I think that's cool.
Dave, did this tickle your fancy at all?
I mean, I saw the AI version of the trailer, so I've pretty much already seen it. I mean, it looks like all these images I'm looking at right here.
Yeah, it was like 4K enhanced, basically.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's kind of lazy as far as a trailer goes. I think it would be cool if this was like the start of a trailer. Like we see Steve pull up, he gets off his bike, takes the helmet off. We see this little thing, and then it goes black, and then we see more stuff going into it. But as far as this being it, and we're going to be getting 4 of these, I think it immediately weakens the news of we're getting 4, because really we're getting a quarter 4 times to make one complete trailer probably by the end of it, and that one complete trailer is going to be pure nostalgia. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, but maybe that's a little dramatic. I don't know. All in all, I'm not really I don't care much for it. I'm not worried about it, but it didn't get me hyped either. It's just kind of whatever right now.
It's kind of like how their end credits feel now. It's just like watered down, just kind of whatever, kind of a reveal, and it totally is in line with that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Right. Like we know everything before Endgame was a lot better, but we don't want to make the last 6 years just like pointless. Like we've been watching all these movies and shows for the last everything after Endgame, and they're just gonna say, "I know what, we're going back to RDJ, Chris Evans, and Chris Hemsworth." Like, you know what, Shang-Chi, Shuri, everyone else, you know, you guys are out of here. The big dogs are back.
You guys didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we're going back to the classics.
But hey, we're still hyped for this movie, and it'll of course be a first round draft pick in the box office draft next year, but a risky pick coming out in December, right?
Yeah, it'll be $2 billion. It's like guaranteed $2 billion.
Well, I think as far as delays go, they already pushed Dune 3.
That kind of a risk, yeah.
So Dune 3 was supposed to release the same time as Doomsday, and Dune 3 has already wavered, and they pushed their release date forward by a month, I think. So I think Doomsday is going to stick there. But yeah, as far we got to establish that rule as far as delays go for our next box office deal.
Because like you want to say like, okay, you could have those points no matter what, but then it's like it's January now and we have to finish our box office results, so we can't just wait until March to figure it out. So
like we did March when COVID and the strikes came into play and everything was getting delayed, but yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, and your championship has an asterisk, but we'll move on.
We don't want to do that.
One more Marvel topic. Black Panther 3 is reportedly set to release in 2028. That'd be post Secret Wars. Do we see the recast coming, Dave?
I think so.
JD,
fully.
you think recast? You think Shuri's story goes to the side after Secret Wars? Because I'm sure
that's
she's
what I don't know how
part.
far. Like Shuri's story ending, I'm not so sure, but I do expect a reboot after Secret Wars. And I do expect a full-blown new T'Challa recast. Hopefully, it's the dude in F1 that we brought up in the Star Wars recast, Damon Idris or something like that. But yeah, I do fully expect a brand new T'Challa. I don't think Shuri's going to last as the character, even though I'd be fine with it. I like Shuri.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to see the whole plot play out as far as Shuri is Queen of Wakanda, but T'Challa is the King of Necropolis. But there's kind of a divide there in Wakanda now, though that may be hard to get there, seeing as I don't know how you obviously you recast him as a variant because we already had a funeral for T'Challa, so you can't just recast him. So it's obviously going to have to be a T'Challa from another universe that they're bringing over, recasting, and then molding into our universe. So I guess even with that, you're not going to have the brother-sister rivalry between him and Shuri. So with that being said, I kind of just talked myself into, giving Shuri a back seat because it's not as good of a dynamic if they're not even related. There's two different universes or dimensions, Black Panther and Shuri there. So, I kind of don't think they're going to do it.
I would love it if they brought the new Black Panther in from the Fantastic Four universe. I think that would be really cool. Wakanda exists over there. And there was a funny parallel. Black Panther's first appearance in the comics was in the 60s in a Fantastic Four comic, and that movie took place in the 60s. And that would be a really cool Black Panther to bring into it because they're going to stick around the 616. Their universe is toast, right? I mean, like, recast Fantastic Four or something. So I feel like they're sticking around the 616. Maybe they're Black Panther too,
Do we think 616 is the main universe post Secret Wars though?
Well, whatever the main, it'll still be 616 probably.
You think
so? It's just like the prime universe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it will be too. And for that, I don't know, man. You recast Black Panther. You're not going to do another Black Panther standalone movie. I don't think. I feel like that'd be weird. It's a different Black Panther, but you're going to do another Black Panther standalone in the same universe, but he's from a different dimension and he's not connected to the Wakanda we know necessarily. I don't know. So I don't see them doing individual projects. So at most,
Black
we see
Panther,
a Black Panther variant pop into these group movies. But
yeah, like you're saying, the Black Panther 3 wouldn't be based on a Black Panther outside.
Because that's not a sequel. It's a totally different universe,
His son, then
totally different cast.
That's another thing. Good point. His son, because that feels like the perfect predecessor, right? Or to fill the shoes there. His son, his name is still T'Challa. He grows up to be Black Panther, and it's Black Panther's son. He's Black Panther now. It's T'Challa. It works.
And they could still do Damson Idris as T'Challa's son,
grown up,
which I forgot what his name was. They told us the name. That I would like that way more. Do the son of T'Challa. I'm there, but a variant or whatever with a recast, I don't see it.
That's fair. All right, let's move on to DC. So you could catch JD and Andy live on YouTube and TikTok as well. The day the trailer came out, they talked about this. I think I'm the highest on this trailer out of the three of us. Is that right?
Yeah.
It sounds like it, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the vibes. I do get the Guardians of the Galaxy style of the trailer. I do see the problems that could cause, but I just kind of like the lower stakes, kind of fun vibes it had. So that was my thoughts from the first trailer. But Dave, we haven't heard. Have we heard your thoughts on the Supergirl trailer yet?
No, I mean I texted into the live chat that Andy and JD were doing when they did the live reaction to it. But I had the same feeling as them. It didn't do much for me. The biggest part to me was Lobo, but we only saw him for 0.3 seconds. I would have liked to maybe get 3 seconds of him and reveal Jason Momoa. But I get it's a teaser. But yeah, it felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy spin-off trailer. Like a different character, but very same universe. Weapons look the same. Space pirates looking the same. And maybe that's just a case of the fact that they have very similar plots and they're both space journeys and all this stuff. And it's a space epic sci-fi kind of travel across different cultures or whatever. So maybe you have similar stuff. And I know he's not directing this. I don't even think he's writing this. I think he's just the producer on this one. But it did just come off as kind of a Guardian spinoff for me. But I'm not condemning it, but it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I expected something different, hearing how close it was going to be to the comic, even sharing the comic's title. Because in the comic, it's very much like Guardians, only in the way where you feel like you're in deep, deep space, like just so far deep in space. But it's just the Guardians of the Galaxy style flashiness and stuff that you don't get from the comic. And it's just like we're kind of expecting James Gunn to bleed into these projects, but like we've already had a full-blown directed by James Gunn movie and a full season of Peacemaker, and then you kind of want something different from Supergirl, and for it to look like Guardians of the Galaxy was just kind of like, come on, are we doing, it's just a little too much James Gunnisms when the comic just feels so, it's like it's kind of a dark background, you're deep in space, and the different cultures we meet don't really feel like, with the colorful flashy weapons and stuff. They do feel very distinct and unique on this journey to revenge, right? So it didn't capture the vibe of the comic. That's picky as the comic reader, but seeing it so much like Guardians of the Galaxy was a little disheartening, made me worry a little bit. Even her character was so much like Star-Lord. But with all that said, I'm still really stoked about this movie. I still think the movie's gonna be really good. And if it feels like Guardians the whole time, that's fine. I'll still be excited for that story. It's a solid story. But yeah, not my favorite trailer. And I do agree. I think you missed out by not showing us a full-blown Lobo, like facing off against Supergirl. Don't even have to exchange dialogue. Just like that's a money shot that you throw into your teaser that doesn't show us why or how he's there or anything about the plot. It's just Lobo and Supergirl. So, and Jason Momoa as Lobo is like one of your big selling factors here.
Right. I did like the flashbacks of Krypton that they showed real fast. That could be a cool part of the movie.
Yeah. And I liked her line, how Clark sees the good in everyone. I see reality or something like that. Mm-hmm. Pretty solid line. No,
it has the potential to be a good movie. Like I said, it could be better than Superman.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll cover the comic. At least Dave will probably read it and cover it with us, and that'll make you excited. It's a really cool story.
Nice.
Yeah, weirdly, the trailer did nothing for me, but I still agree that it could definitely surpass Superman. But I didn't love Superman, so that's probably why.
Right. We did get a quick in the same HBO kind of showed what they're releasing in 2026. We got our Lanterns first look, showed the two of them messing around, and then not Hal. What's the other one's name?
John.
No, Hal jumps out of the car and leaves John inside of it to figure it out as it goes off of a cliff. So this little kind of buddy cop aspect mystery going on here. What do you guys think of it?
If you guys have seen Friday Night Lights, I love seeing Kyle Chandler in this role, but all I could see is Coach Taylor. I said that in text to these guys. But yeah, it was kind of jarring to see him playing Hal Jordan. So I'm really excited about it, though. I think he's going to kill the role because I kind of saw that Kyle Chandler fire in your eyes thing he has going for him. Launching John off a cliff with the car, that's pretty exciting. That's cool. I like the vibe of the show for the 5 seconds we got. So that was cool.
Yeah, for the tiny bit we got, it was perfect. It was a great little setup for the relationship the two of them have. Like I said, after watching Rebel Ridge, I am very happy with this Jon Stewart casting. And I'm having a hard time with it too. I see Kyle Chandler as not even Coach Taylor really, because I didn't watch that much, but he sticks in your head for whatever prior roles he has done. He's only in a brief amount of Mayor of Kingstown, but I see him and his character from the Godzilla movies every time I see him. There's something about his face there, but I believe in his acting. I think he will sell us on the fact that it's Hal Jordan eventually. Yeah, Game Night. He's in that one too.
So funny.
Or the agent from Wolf of Wall Street is the one that I mainly think of him as when he's talking to Leo and he's getting him for everything. He's like, yeah, I call him Fun Bucks.
Yeah.
It was something I was clinging to at the beginning of the DCU announcements and stuff, but I'm starting to actually kind of believe it that he's going to be going into his parallax thing, like starting off pretty soon in the DCU. I'm just getting that feeling. They had the image of the ring, like a close up of the ring that had that was on the dash, and it had some yellow lining on it. It was like the ring itself was cracked, like broken. So if that was Hal's ring, but I don't know. I'm starting to feel like that might be the big DCU threat, starting with him going parallax, which would be so sick. That'd be a cool route to go.
All right, let's move on to the DCEU, or no, Elseworlds, excuse me. Harvey Dent will probably be in the Batman 2, and they're looking at Scarlett Johansson to play his wife. And I guess Brad Pitt was approached to play Harvey Dent's dad, not Harvey Dent himself, but he declined the role. So looking for Harvey Dent and his dad, and they want Scarlett Johansson to play his wife, which is not Poison Ivy or Andrea Beaumont. So JD, are you disappointed at all that she's kind of taking a smaller role in the movie?
No, not at all. I'm not at all disappointed in that. I don't know anything about Two-Face's wife in the comics or anything like that either, but I'm just glad she's not a clandestine agent again. That was one thing I was worried about. Started getting to attach myself to the idea of Poison Ivy, thinking of her red hair as Black Widow. I'm like, man, that actually would be kind of cool and different from Black Widow. But I don't care. She could play whoever, that's solid. It's just good acting talent. And I know nothing about Two-Face's wife.
Yeah, never heard of her.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm bummed about the Brad Pitt thing. Not if he was gonna play Two-Face's dad, though. If that's what he was being hired for, I could care less if he's or couldn't care less. I thought he was gonna be playing Dr. Arkham or Hugo Strange, which I thought in a psychological villain role, Brad Pitt would have been incredible to be bringing into the Batman thing. But if he was just gonna be the father of Two-Face, then yeah, I don't care. And I gotta say, I like Scarlett Johansson. But unfortunately for me, I just watched Jurassic World Rebirth or whatever the most recent one is. And Oh my God. I didn't know she was becoming a mail woman for her future career because good Lord, it was the most stale mailed in performance I've ever seen Scarlett Johansson have for me. So I watched that and was like, all right, I guess she can just be awful in movies if she doesn't really care enough. So I hope she tries in this one if she's going to be in it. But I have a feeling it's going to be a very small thing. I feel like there's a possibility she's not even in it by the time we get to there.
It sounds like a waste of money, honestly.
Yeah. Well, why? Why bring her in for a small role as Harvey Dent's wife? I don't get it.
And it's like distracting almost. Scarlett Johansson in a Batman movie seems like it kind of takes some credence away from the Gotham, the whole like getting soaked into the movie. It's like, oh, Scarlett Johansson, like, so who knows?
The only thing I'll say is she was in the Long Halloween for a good chunk of it. And so if she's going to be a character in this, it makes me think they're going the Long Halloween route with it.
Harvey Dent's wife, you mean, was a big character in it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. His wife was in the Long Halloween. That's the only time I've seen her in stories is in the Long Halloween. I don't know much about her outside of that, but and I've heard a lot of words saying that there's rumors the Long Halloween is going to be a big, I don't know why I can't think of the word, but as far as adaptation goes, it's going to be a big influence on the story. So that would line up.
You got to think it would be. That's the same. I mean, it's just a murder mystery. A couple
The
murders.
holiday killer.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot like the Batman one if they do that.
Yeah,
just a new killer.
Right. It seems odd.
I still see the Court of Owls, but I don't see them. I feel like they would want to save that kind of.
I think that's the third
DCU.
one, or that's the third movie.
I don't even know if we're getting
you're right.
the third one though.
But yeah, if there ever is.
If they do the Court of Owls, she should be one of the members, like a femme fatale kind of thing for Bruce Wayne that lures him into the Court of Owls.
Yeah, like one of the members of the court, like the Court of Owls, or even a Talon. Nah, that's Black Widow.
Secret agent. Well, whenever this movie comes out, it's 2027. Yeah, 2027. So still 2 more years. Because obviously the end of this year is stacked with Dune and Doomsday. Doomsday, excuse me. Let's move on to Star Wars. We got our Fate of the Old Republic teaser trailer for this game that's coming out very soon. It follows a new story and characters. It's not a direct continuation or sequel to the KOTOR games. It's just set in the same Old Republic era. The creator later came out and said it's coming out before 2030, so maybe 2 years. But once again, Star Wars doesn't have a great track record. So, Dave, I know you gave your thoughts on this. Want to kind of reiterate them real fast?
Yeah, was stoked to hear it. Didn't know it was coming out. It was a surprise trailer, which does not happen. So that was freaking awesome, especially for one of my favorite games of all time. Favorite Star Wars game for sure. But yeah, when they started talking about 2030, it kind of killed that hype. So we'll see. But again, just to reiterate, Casey Hudson's doing it. He did Knights of the Old Republic. He did Mass Effect. It's in the same universe, but it's not following Revan. It's a spiritual successor, as they described it. So if it was coming out in the next 2 years, I'd be absolutely stoked. My only hesitance is ever since they said, well, it's a new studio, so it could be 2030, at the earliest time we release. I'm very hesitant now because of what we've had with Star Wars video games. But my God, if it comes out in the next few years, I'm so hyped on this.
Yeah, give me any. I mean, if the only Old Republic stuff they'll give us is in a video game, might as well take it. Plus, if you think of like the Fallen Order, that quality, but in the setting of the Old Republic using some Sith, that's gonna be dope. But yeah I guess don't hold our breath.
I could tell when I saw the trailer, it had Eclipse vibes though, where you could tell there was no game footage, no work had been done yet. It was just like this AI almost pre-made trailer. So when it came out, I was excited, but at the same time, I was like, this doesn't look like a game that's close to coming out by the way this trailer looks. So I try to keep my expectations down when it comes to Star Wars, but we're still excited for this. But there is another game coming out that is coming out next year. And that is Star Wars Galactic Racer. And this is a high-stakes racing adventure With the Empire gone and the galaxy rebuilding, the Galactic League is formed, an underground race scene where syndicates bankroll chaos and champions are forged. So I'm kind of excited for this. It seems like not like a big game that like Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor or this Fate of the Old Republic game, but it seems fun. Hopefully you can kind of really customize what type of ship you have, create a cool character, and then it's kind of like a almost a Need for Speed style Star Wars game where you like go around to different maps. And I don't know. I'm excited for this though. So are you guys into this at all? Does perk you guys' interest?
The first thing I think of, dude, is I don't know what happened to racing games in the past decade or maybe like 15 years. Like there's not been one in the past like that amount of time where it's a nice open world setting. I could upgrade my car. I could drive around if I want. I could go race if I want. Like your Need for Speed Underground and Most Wanted and stuff like that. Like what happened to that kind of racing game? Because we just don't have that. If you give me that dressed in Star Wars colors, dude, then that would be really cool. But
yeah,
in general, I want a good racing game. Like what happened to all that?
I have a Need for Speed game. I think it's Need for Speed Heat. I think it came out like 6 years ago.
A while ago, I think.
Is it Heat or it was like 20? It's whatever came out like 2019, but yeah, it's basically just Gran Turismo and Need for Speed drop the same kind of type of game every year.
Yeah, but they're nothing like the old ones. Like you can't. It's not open world. It's mostly online oriented.
Right.
Just not the same freedom, not the same fun.
What was that Need for Speed game? You got to drive across country and hit every state on the way.
Dude, the run. I love
was that what it
game.
Was? Okay.
It's only it's a PS3, Xbox 360 game, so you can't even get it on. I can't get it on my PS5, which sucks.
Okay. Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed 2 Underground was one of my favorite racing games ever. Good. Need for Speed is what made me aware of what a McLaren F1 was. And I was stoked on it ever since as a kid. But I gotta say, I don't really care about this Star Wars game. Doesn't do anything for me. Even if it was strictly pod racing, which that would have me a little more hyped, like they just did
N64,
which it looks like it's a modern day pod racing variation.
Sebulba's in it.
Yeah, Sebulba's in it. It's an underground, create your own craft, terrain racing. But yeah, they just don't do anything for me.
Yeah, it just looks fun. It's nothing to.
Yeah, I just haven't crazed a racing game in a while. So a Star Wars Galactic Racer, I don't care. But that's just me.
All right. Do we have any more topics? Any more pictures up there? The Rey movie. That's right. Daisy Ridley says the Rey film will be worth the wait. She did an interview where she gave quotes on like the Solo movie and a bunch of other Star Wars stuff, but she says, but with this Rey movie particularly, I know that incredible voices and creatives are part of it, and I know it will be worth the wait. So really all this tells me is that it's still happening, which is confusing with the whole like episode 10 thing that's coming out where it's going to be two young Jedi that we're following or whatever, and Rey's going to be involved, but she's also going to have a Solo movie. So I don't know, but I guess it's still happening.
Yeah, I'll tell you what this tells me. This tells me that the studio told Daisy Ridley, hey, we need some good positive rep and promotion going. We need some good PR. How about you say this right now, make a statement that this is going to be great because we need to get some momentum on this thing. It don't mean a damn thing to me, but I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, Star Wars doesn't really deserve our optimism right now, but my optimistic side, really, really hopes this is going to be good. So I don't know. You got to hope they learn their lessons and move forward, but we've said that over and over. But I like Rey. I'm excited. You're right. I don't like that it's her own movie, yet they are doing a trilogy. I was thinking that her story was going to bleed into that instead. But if she's a character that's like a main character of trilogy movies, she doesn't need her own movie. That just kind of defeats the purpose of like being a part of the trilogy movies that we do instead of a spin-off Star Wars story, Han Solo style thing. So and then I just hope it's good.
And if you give her a Solo movie and then she shows up in episode 10 and then like dies at the end, it's basically just Obi-Wan all over again from the original trilogy, where it's like the old Jedi shows up, shows the kids what to do, and then dies at the end of the first movie.
Yeah,
so we're just doing it all over again.
Is she really going to carry a trilogy right now again? And
I don't think
I
so.
was gonna say, except she didn't deserve it as much as Obi-Wan did, but I'm not gonna get into that. But I just think as far as the news report goes, like you just telling me it's gonna be worth the wait doesn't do a damn thing for me unless you want to give me some information. You just saying that, yeah, I mean it feels pretty empty,
right? And we know John Boyega and Oscar Isaac are coming back, so
yeah.
Who knows what's happening there?
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. It's been a while. We're gonna do a little. What have you been watching lately? JD and I will go first real fast, and then we'll clear the floor for Dave. JD, you got anything outside of fandom? Maybe
not much. Not much.
Comic books.
I've been reading a lot of good comics. But yeah, I passed. Give it to Dave. I couldn't even bring him up right now.
Well, I'm gonna go real fast first. I did watch that Age of Disclosure documentary on Amazon Prime. It was on sale. It was on sale. I did. It was really cool.
I want to do it. Yeah, it was like $20.
It was only 13 when I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I really want to see that one.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. There was a couple of parts in there where you're like, holy shit. Some weird stuff's going on out there. And I feel like there's, a lot of things going on that people aren't talking about. JD, you were on a Air Force base in San Diego. I know that's it was. I know there's some weird things that's where the Tic Tac UFO was found. So
yeah, and we saw what is it called? SpaceX launches and stuff from our base. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So
and one time you saw those. Have you seen those things online that are like? So Lexi and I were driving up to your guys' area, Cameron Park from San Diego. And we are passing LA and like in the horizon, right in front of us as we're driving, we see these big balls of light form a line, separately forming a line, and then like get brighter and like sync together and then flash out of sight. And it was like covering our view, like the front of our horizon. It was huge. Damn. And apparently that's supposed to be some SpaceX stuff too. But that was like I didn't think that at the time. I was like, we literally just saw some crazy
I remember
UFO
you telling
thing
me
right
that.
in front of.
That's crazy. No, it was a good documentary though. Not like any like smoking gun stuff, but
it's got a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes right now for some reason. I don't know if it's getting review bombed or what, but
yeah, some people are saying it's like pointing people in the wrong direction or something, but I don't know. Seem
criticizing its lack of physical evidence.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like footage. I would say there's not like new found footage they have.
People
it's a lot
kind of giving their statements,
but it's like people like there's a guy who's been like running the UAP task force in the like in the government, and he's one of the main people in the documentary. They're talking to him the whole time, so he must know his shit. Right? I mean, everyone they talk to is either in the military or in the government or like has some stature. It's not like random people.
There's so many Naval and Air Force reports from pilots, I mean, of stuff that they've ran into that just doesn't make any sense. So it's either military, cutting edge stuff that they just haven't told us they have, or
another country.
It's the other thing. Or doubtful. Maybe Israel. Maybe China. Maybe Russia. But
moving on.
I'll have to check it out.
It's good. South Park new season. I don't know if it's over or not, but that's been wild. All the Trump stuff they've been doing. Have you heard about that? But it's been pretty wild. I saw Wicked Part 2 in theaters. I kind of talked about it briefly, but not as good as the first one. Don't go see it unless you really love musicals. Even the songs weren't great. There was not one memorable song in the entire movie, so just skip it. But lastly, we did watch The Chair Company. I don't know if you guys are Tim Robinson. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
JD, Tim Robinson, like I Think You Should Leave or other shows he's done. He's like a
not
weird.
By name. I haven't even heard of this show.
Very awkward style of comedy. It's like where it's it's like a comedy thriller where he works for like this company that's like building a new mall. There's like a demonstration or whatever, and he sits down in the chair and the chair breaks on the stage and everyone's like, oh shit, and he gets hella embarrassed. And then he just goes in this whole like deep investigation into figuring out why that chair broke on him. But it's like there's this whole like conspiracy about like all this stuff going on. It's out of control, but it's really funny. There's some like really funny side characters that it's involved, but weird show, but super funny. I would recommend it if you like awkward, dry humor. So
I gotta watch that. I gotta add that to my list. Just
It's
that
so
description
weird.
sounds like I would love it.
it's so because he's like taking everything super seriously, like where he's like trying to figure this out, but everything around him is a one big joke. Whereas
I can
like
Take a picture that. So
yeah. But yeah, and then I watched some Christmas movies as well. You know, The Grinch and Elf, Christmas Carol. You know, but Dave,
Right.
you've been waiting for a while, so the floor is yours.
yeah, I don't want to kill you guys with stuff. It's been a few weeks since I've released, and I've been
It's been a
watching
month.
stuff like a madman lately. So I'm not even gonna get into some of it. We talked about the It movies, so that's perfect because that was one of the stuff I haven't really brought up. We already covered it in our Welcome to the Dairy.
Shining, Doctor
Welcome
Sleep.
to Dairy. Welcome to Dairy. Yes, Shining and Doctor Sleep are another major one on here, and again, we talked about that in Welcome to Dairy. But JD, there is, I think you saw it, but I don't know the whole Doctor Sleep thing. I'm not spoiler alert. I guess it's not a spoiler alert, but steam is one of the main things these spirit vampires are after, and it's just crazy. It's like the Sixth Sense stuff. It's stronger with children. They even describe it when people get older, it gets dirtier and worse, and they don't like taking it from adults because it's impure, and it's got the whole purity of kids and this power they have with The Shining. It connects to it. It connects to the Shining movies. It's a super cool movie. So if you know anything about the Stephen King lore, I highly recommend it. There are parts that drags, but there's a lot of really cool nods to the Shining. And in my opinion, it made the Shining better. So if you thought the Shining was overrated, I 100% recommend you go watch Doctor Sleep.
Overrated?
Yeah, I think the Shining's a little overrated. It's all right. It's fine, but all it did was make me want to read the book because I felt like it left out a ton of interesting lore that I was like, well, what the hell was the
It
reason
does.
for that? Well, what is that? Why is this? They just didn't explain anything in the movie, and it made me curious, but it made me curious to read the book to get a better story told. So that's why I think the movie's a little overrated. Landman season 2. I know Leb doesn't watch it. We've talked about that. JD,
I'm
I don't
getting
know if
to it.
You watched it either? Billy Bob
No.
Thornton. It's on Paramount. It's about
No.
oil companies out in Texas. It's a Taylor Sheridan series, but season
Everyone
2
who
dropped.
watches it said it's really good.
Yeah, Landman season 1 was great. And season 2, it's a slow start so far, but I really enjoy it. Billy Bob Thornton's great.
JD, know about that Landman?
You know about that Landman, JD?
No.
I watched Wicked. Super overrated, super gay. I mean, it is. It's not an offensive thing. It's very homosexually forward. So, no, I don't know, bro. I thought it was super overrated. I thought there was one good song in the entire movie. I'm not a musical person. I'm a Wizard of Oz person, and that's the only reason I watched it. I said, screw it. I'm going to throw it on. Dorothy's my gal. I grew up watching that. Over the Rainbow reminds me of my grandma. I'm going to watch the story. I didn't know Wicked fleshed out the story of the lion and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and Dorothy. So I was like, oh, that's kind of dope. I regret it. 2.5 hours of just the most mid music possible. They skipped over a ton of the storytelling that didn't make any sense. I knew the wizard was Elphaba's dad in the first minute of the movie. I don't know if that was supposed to be a reveal in the second movie, but it was pretty damn obvious. Okay.
It was a reveal in the second movie, but it was also very obvious.
As soon as she drank a green elixir, I was like, well, that's probably why the main character has green skin. Great. That's probably the wizard right there. Okay. The only song that was good was Defying Gravity. But that's an absolute banger. Still stuck in my head. Watched it like 2 weeks ago. Defying Gravity, great song. Overall, but it wasn't made for me. So I acknowledge that. It's not a movie that was made for somebody with what I'm looking for, but I thought it was just awful. Speaking of awful, Eddington, Pedro Pascal, Joaquin Phoenix. It's basically just a COVID movie. It's just about COVID and sheriffs and mayors arguing about COVID protocols. So a little annoying. I definitely wouldn't have want to watch it when it released, when COVID was fresh, because like, why would you want to continue to see people argue about COVID?
I think it just came out last year.
Yeah, it was only like a year ago. I guess it wasn't that close. But It was okay. Third act got crazy, and then it was one of the worst endings to the movie I've ever seen. Just nonsensical, unnecessary. Last 5 minutes, we just see Joaquin Phoenix's penis flopping around for no reason at all. They just threw it at me in the last 5 minutes.
A24 likes that.
Just cool. That was necessary, right? That was assault.
So A24 likes to do that where it's like a slow build up to the end of the movie, and then there's like this big crescendo, but wasn't worth it. Was there like crazy violence at the end or anything?
Oh, the third act was insane. Yeah, there was insane violence in the third act.
Okay,
Third act
okay.
off and turned into just absolute chaos. But then the last like 10 minutes was just like random disconnected. Like, whoa, how do we get here? What are we doing? It was weird. And then Lord of War, Nicolas Cage, great movie. Only other thing I wanted to talk about was Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, Netflix project with Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, who else? Christoph Waltz. It's a pretty stacked cast. It was pretty good. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It was not what I was expecting, but I thought it was done really well, actually. I really liked it. It was very long, but I didn't mind it. It felt like it was done very well.
No, I gotta watch that. I started it. It was kind of slow to start,
Okay.
and I just wasn't really in the vibes. But I'm definitely gonna go back to it.
Oscar Isaac did great. Jacob Elordi did great as Frankenstein, or he's not Frankenstein. Sorry, he's the monster. That's the whole thing. But he's not the monster, really. But it's good. Yeah, no, it was a good rendition of the story we've heard told for 30 years. It was good though.
100 years.
So that's yeah. For us, 30. For everybody else, good God. Shelley, whatever her name is, wrote it and been beating people over the head with it ever since. But yeah, it was good. I recommend it. So that's all I got. I had a few others, but I'm not going to continue this.
Okay. All right. Well, that about wraps it up for another edition of Week in Geek. Thank you for joining us. We had a lot of news. The news is coming out quick and fast these days, so we are bringing you weekly jam-packed episodes. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast.